Thanks for tuning in to another video. I am Stacy, the creator of Twisted Kinks Crochet, and in today's video I have my up next project on the table. So I'm really not sure. It's going to be a blanket. Really not sure what stitch I'm going to use, but I had these colors just kind of stored together, and I thought when I looked at them, how fun would that be to put all these colors on a blanket together. So I'm going to do that. It's just a coincidence that they happen to match the book cover. This is a book that I'm currently reading, and we'll talk about that in the next video. But it's called Good Dirt by Charmaine Wilkerson, and she is the author of Black Cake, which is a series that was on Hulu at one point. So if you watch the series on Hulu, I think it was on Hulu. If you watch the series on Hulu and you liked it, if you read the book Black Cake, then you might want to consider this. So far, so good. And we'll talk more about it, like I said, in the next video. This video is just more of an update. I had a couple projects that I was working on, so I'm going to show you the finished. And I did a couple more ball caps, so we'll talk about those as well. And then we will let you guys get out of here. But before I start, do me a favor. Like this video, subscribe to my little old channel, and let's see what we're going to comment this week. Why don't you comment where you're from and how you found my channel? So, with all of that said, let's get started. So let's start off with the hats. This one is completely done. It is glued down. The emblems are ironed on, and it would be ready to go if I was satisfied with the quality, and I'm not. The hats I got from Amazon, the snap arm, or the snapback, one of this side already came loose, so I had to glue that back in. So I'm not very happy with the quality of the hat. With the glue, you can tell on the front, maybe you can, maybe you can't, but I can, that when the glue dried, it did not dry clear. So it makes a spot on the front look more gray than black. It also did the same thing around the top. So the person that I'm making this hat for will not get it because I don't like the way I don't like the quality of it. So I'm going to, do it again, but do it a little bit better. I'm going to take my own tips, my own mistakes, and make the correction on these. The other thing that I did was use the heat gun to, instead of trying to iron it, I wanted to use a heat gun to affix the emblem, and that I put it on there too long, so it burned part of the emblem and some of the yarn. So just, use an iron and maybe put a cloth over top of it to protect the yarn, and then iron on. Don't do like I did and use a heat gun. That's why I ended up doing, so my plan was just to do the emblem on the front. And that's why you see the emblems on the side, because I was trying to cover up the areas that I burned. Lessons learned. Also with this hat, it is a little bit different than the hat that I did in the previous video that I got from Michaels. So the basic design and the basic construction of the hat is the same. You're still going to do a magic circle and then put it around this tab on the top. You're still going to do the number of rows that you need to do to increase, and then do your rows around. You will still get here and then start working back and forth so you don't cover up the hole in the back. You will also do the chains to make the little seams on the top of the hat. So the construction itself is the same, but the number of rows that I had to do for the brim and the number of rows that I ended up with a decrease also changed. So when I say there is no perfect way except the way that's perfect for you, you have to take the basic tips and tricks from other people, but use it in a way that makes sense for you. Because I can tell you to do 7 rows of increases and then 3 rows of straight stitches, but you may need to do 8 rows of increases or 6 rows of increases. Do what works for you, but take the basic design. Okay, so that's this hat. I also got the emblems from Amazon, the iron-on patches. So it came with 2 of these, came with 2 of each, 2 of the round ones, 2 of these eagle heads that I did not use, and then 2 of the birds in flight. So, you know, try Amazon if you want to do the same project. Just don't use the heat gun to affix the emblem to the hat. And then this one is same hat. Okay. Same hat, but for some reason, doing it the same exact way made this one come out a little bit longer than I needed it to be. So I'm going to take this apart and then redo it. I did a underbill in black because the hat is so light purple that it didn't match the team colors. So I did an underbill in order to make to hide that little lavender part. This one is not glued down, but when I glue it all down, you'll see that it'll all cover up under the bottom, blah, blah, blah. And then same thing from Amazon. I got 2 of each of these iron-on patches. So the Baltimore Ravens bird, the helmet, and then I think my nephew called this the ghost logo. And this is the one we're going to go with. So it'll just sit right there. Boom. But I am going to take this apart and reconstruct, not all the way, but reconstruct it the way that it needs to be, because it did come out to be a little bit too long down here. So you can see this is the hat, and then this is how long it's coming from the side of the hat. And I ran out of yarn, so I couldn't do the seams. But once I take this apart, maybe I'll be able to do that. I'll have enough yarn to do that and finish it. So the nephews have already started, well, at least one of them has already started advertising for me and has got some orders for me. So I don't know about pricing these things, because one thing about me, as I said in one of my intro videos about a year ago when I started, I love to crochet. So I don't really put a price on my stuff, because most of the time if somebody wants something, I'll tell them buy the yarn and I'll make it. But if we are talking about them advertising the work and me producing more anyway, for the most part, this was a fun project. It really is easy. The glue, the products, all that stuff, you just have to be very mindful and very careful. So I probably will send this to him anyway, because wear it or don't wear it, what am I going to do with it? I'll probably just send it to him anyway. And then the Ravens one, hey, once I take this apart and refit it, we'll see what happens. And then I have a couple more already lined up to do in the future. My mother, she saw the Faith Without Fear hat that I did in the last video. She wants that one, and she crochets. However, she wants me to make her one, so I'm going to make her one. There's so many iron-on patches that I saw on Amazon. I ordered another set. It's like a pretty girl set, blinged out. So I'm going to do a pink hat, and I'm going to put a couple of the blinged out pretty girl patches on her hat. And yeah, so many possibilities. I mean, I guess if you could think it and you could Amazon it, you could actually do it. So there's that. Just remember, no perfect way except the way that works for you. That's perfect for you. Even though I did the same pattern for both hats, different yarn. This is a Walmart mainstay yarn, and this is Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. So take all of those things into consideration, that the yarn, the hook size, the hat, all of that will determine what happens or how you do your hat. So no perfect way except the way that works perfectly for you. Okay. Let's move on to the blankets. All right. Here are the Granny Ripple blankets that I started about a month ago, probably. Remember that I was going to do one blanket, and it was going to be for either Davita, dialysis center, or my nephew. And this is the one I started. And then I realized this is not wide enough. So instead of taking apart all that I did, I just decided to start a second blanket. So I was working 2 blankets at the same time. This is the smaller of the 2. This is 30 by 40, 30 inches by 40 inches. And you can tell I did a rotation of 5 rows per color and just kept rotating that way. Started with black, ended with black. Did not do a border because I didn't feel like it was necessary, to be honest. Still have an end to sew in. Didn't feel like it was necessary, to be honest with you. So this will be like a baby or toddler blanket that I will give to charity, maybe the same charity that I'll give the hats to. So they've already been sprayed down with the solution of fabric softener and water. They smell good, they feel good, and they are ready to go. The second one, the larger of the 2, still has an end to be sewn in. So don't pay any attention to that. But this one is 43 by 70. So 43 wide, 70 inches long. The difference in this and the little one, other than the size, is that I rotated 10 rows of burgundy and then 2 rows of the black and red, and I just kept rotating that way. I also did a border around this blanket. I was really trying to use up all of the yarn that I had, and I did use up most of it. I have a little bit left that I could use for a hat, or if I wanted to do slippers to go with this, because this one is going to go to another nephew. So originally I had this in my closet, a project that I had started a couple years ago, many years ago. And I knew that this was for him, but I didn't know if he would remember. So I asked, did he still want the blanket? He said yes. So instead of this going to Davita, it will go to the nephew. And that will still leave me with 2 more blankets to do for Davita, because the goal for this year was to do 4 blankets for Davita. So back to this blanket. So I trimmed it out with a round of single crochets in the burgundy. That was my anchor all the way around. And then I did half doubles in the other 2 colors. So a round of half doubles in gray, round of half doubles in black. And I think that really did, it really made the blanket nice. So that's that. And again, it feels really nice. It smells really nice. The spray that I use is like 1 part fabric softener to 3 parts water to dilute that fabric softener. Mist your blanket. I do it on both sides. I lay it out and then I let it dry, and that way. And that's it. So the Granny Ripple blankets are done. One will go with the hats, I think, and then this one will be sent out to the nephew. And that's that for the blanket update. And so that does it for this week's video. I have the up next project. If y'all have any suggestions on a stitch to use for this blanket, leave that in the comments. I have the hats, crochet covered ball caps, NFL themed. Remember, no perfect way except the way that's perfect for you. Use the outline that I provided in the last video or that you find on other videos. But just remember, you have to tailor this for your hat, your stitch, your tension, your yarn. But use the same format. This one and this, see, I still got to iron that on. But anyway, this one and this one, same hats from Amazon, different yarn, same pattern, different results. So just remember that. And then we talked about the Granny Ripple blankets that will go to nephew and one to Charity. These were done both at the same time. I don't know if I would ever do that again, but there they are. I think they came out nice. So Good Dirt, what we're currently reading. Hopefully we'll have that done and ready to review in the next video. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for sticking around and spending a little bit of your day with me today. Hopefully I didn't keep you for too long. Do me a favor, as I asked in the beginning, like this video, subscribe to my little old channel, leave in the comments where you're watching from and how you found me. And then also, what stitch do you recommend? Would you like for me to try for the up next project? I think this is going to be fun because I don't know, I put these colors, they were just sitting together and my mind said that would be cute as a blanket or something like that. So that's what we're going to rock with. Now, we might not have enough yarn to finish whole. I know I have more of this purple, so we might be heavy on the purple and light on the other colors. But if you have a suggestion on the stitch, leave that in the comments. And with that, I will meet you guys back here in the next video. Bye.